A win 50 years in the making. Liberty football beats BYU. We'll tell you what it means and hear from Hugh Freeze about the victory.
Plus, the powerful story of Lady Flames soccer player McKinley Burkett and the adversity she's overcome. It's a special Flame Central, and it starts now.
What a week for Liberty Athletics. Are we still celebrating?
Maybe.
Yeah, we are. We'll explain why in just a moment. She's Emily Austin. I'm Matt Warner. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Matt, normally we cover all different kinds of Liberty University teams, but this week, the majority of our time will be spent talking some football. And for good reason, it was a historic win for the Flames this past week.
Yeah, when Liberty was founded in 1971, Jerry Falwell Sr. said he wanted it to be for evangelical Christians what BYU was for those of the Mormon faith, which meant stepping onto the same football field as BYU here in Lynchburg was a special moment in the history of the school. The teams will play in front of the largest crowd in Flames history, over 24,000 at Williams Stadium, and they didn't have much to cheer about in the first quarter. BYU jumped out to a 14-3 lead, and that potent Cougar offense looked to be humming. But everything would change from that point on. Liberty found its offensive rhythm after a Shedro Lewis touchdown run made it 14-10. The Flames would go in front on this toss from Jonathan Bennett to Austin Henderson. Liberty led it 20-14 at the half. Second half, Liberty up 27-14 now, and we have a Day Hunter sighting. Hunter breaking free. He goes 80 yards to the house. Oh, career high 213 yards on the day for Day, while Jonathan Bennett would post his best game as a Flame as well. Bennett was 24 of 29 with 2 touchdown tosses. The defense shut out BYU over the final 3 quarters, and they couldn't keep the fans off the field after this one. There would be celebrating in Lynchburg, one of the biggest wins in program history, and in many ways, the fulfilling of Dr. Falwell's vision. Oh, by the way, the win now gives the Flames a 7-1 record on the season.
Man, this win is, biggest home game in school history, and, I took the time to watch that Jerry Falwell video, this week about, going to play Notre Dame in South Bend and playing BYU, and we're going to beat them, and it's like, man, we have the opportunity to make his vision come true tonight, and it was awesome.
Woo, so pumped for JB and the Flames. Okay, this was not only a huge win, but a historic one as well. So social media was buzzing. Let's stop wasting time. It's hearsay with EA. Let's start off with Kirk Herbstreit, who not only had Day Hunter as a top performer from Week 8, but also Hugh Freeze as a top-performing coach. More praise for Coach Freeze. ESPN's Chris Lowe pointing out his consistency. CBS Sports' Barrett Salih thinks he deserves a ton of credit. We agree. While Fox Sports' Aaron Torres reminds us that he's an elite football coach. We already knew that. And check it out. Reese Davis of ESPN took LU as his super dog, and he thinks he'll continue that trend. Makes him a smart man. So is Dan Mullen, who gave his helmet sticker to Day All Day Hunter. All the celebrities and former Flames were talking about this win too. Rashad Jennings giving some love to Day, alum Shannon Bream, and Matt Warner.
What? Larry? That's Mater. That's Mater from the Cars movie.
Cable guy. Let's go. All of this attention, and somehow Liberty is still not part of the AP Top 25.
Come on.
How do you feel about this, Flames Nation? Because I'm a little upset. And finally, these are my top 3 funny photos of the weekend. Heisman, copy-paste Day. All right, our insanely talented trolling creative team with the stray cat graphic after the win, and John Curtis chowing down on some cougar tail after the win. I love to see it.
Ah, that's amazing. Amazing night for the Flames and their fans. And guess what? We're not done talking about it. You see, in the lead up to this huge game with BYU, our cameras were following the Flames tight ends, and they're the focus of this week's In the Fire.
We call ourselves the SEAL team. You call on us, we'll get the job done. If it's to block a 6'5", 270-pound defensive end the whole game, that's the job. We got to get it done. If it's to go and run some routes and catch some balls, that's the job. We always talk about preparation breeds confidence. And the way we prepare and practice is what's going to show up on film.
Ready, go! Good, right hand. Hey, it's going to be very important that we stay on our insteps. Okay, 6'4", 275, 6'4", 280, good.
It's very important that in practice that we strain. So that's the way that our boys practice, that we're gonna go full speed.
Coach Ben, he's everything you could ask for in a coach.
Ready, go!
You want a genuine guy, a guy who cares about you personally. He's going to push you to reach your full potential and be the best that you can day in, day out.
Drive, relax, good.
In practice and in the games, he's always giving us reminders like in the moment and helping us out.
Good, there you go, relax, good.
Every little detail and with our technique and our assignment.
The only time you start coming out of your base is if he does what? Runs. That's when you got to come out of that base. But if he does all this stuff, you can stay in it. Ready, go!
I'd rather tell you to slow down than to giddy up. So that's the way that our boys practice, that we're going to go full speed. We spend a lot of time in the film room understanding the looks. Why is a defensive end in a 9 technique? Why are they in a 4-eye? What type of defense are they in when they're in their 3-down stuff? And then also understanding coverages. For us, again, we've got to be very headsy players, understanding not just the fronts, but also understanding what's happening on the back end of it.
This dude is the Mike linebacker, right? He is usually in here. When he gets out there, outside of the tackle and roam, the antenna's got to go up. Ooh, this Mike is out here. I may need to pick him up. Now your footwork goes right foot, left foot. That's the best thing you can do is kick him out, okay? Just like this. Good, boom, kick him out. There it is. Great job right here. Great angles to run through. The receiver will make his block, and we should go to a touchdown. Everybody good there? This is going to be a really good play for us Saturday.
The past 3 seasons, I was playing at BYU, and so to compete against them will be a unique opportunity, I think. You know, before seeing them or after the game, it'll be, you know, all hugs and seeing old friends again. In terms of how you prepare and how we're going to get ready to play this game and try to go win, I think it's the exact same.
Be the physical team today, SEAL team mentality, whatever it is, 11, 12, 13, get the job done. Run, pass, get it done. Be the physical team today.
The only way that you walk out of here, it's anything other than a success. You need to get this straight in your mind, is that you refuse to offer up unto this team that which costs you nothing. We're going to have to strain to win, but man, you offer up unto this team something that's got to cost you today to win this thing. It's going to cost you something. And so you got to be willing to burn the dang ships. Yep. Burn the ships, man. There is no dang alternative plan B. We don't have one. We don't have one. You've got to walk out of this door. You got to go through that gate to the largest crowd in the history of this school to watch a football game. Yeah. You got to run through that gate, and then they're going to lock those gates. Yeah. And when they lock those gates, you're going to have to fight. Yeah. And there ain't no way out of it. No. And so it's up to you. Go fight. Go be all in. Burn the ship.
Michael Bollinger's in there as a fullback on 3rd and 2.
Short yardage blocking, that's my favorite thing. If it's short yardage, you know it's a critical down, and it's very important that the SEAL team comes in, that the tight ends come in, and we can make that push for 1 or 2 yards and get the job done.
You get a great block by Bollinger, the fullback.
When the ball's in the air, you just got to have the mindset that it's mine. You can't let anything stand between you and the goal line.
Throws near side, it's going to be caught on the near sideline. Light him up. Touchdown, Liberty. The tight end, Austin Henderson, with his first catch as a Liberty Flame for a touchdown.
On game day, I'm their biggest cheerleader. Their job is to go out there and execute. So I kind of sit down with Jerome, Mike, Austin, Bentley, whoever it is in the game, kind of make adjustments if needed.
Building the shade right now as the Flames move right to left. Bentley Hanshaw, the BYU transfer, lines up wing to the left, and a run by Day Hunter right side to the 30, to the 40, and on his feet to the 50, far sideline, 30, 20, 10, line him up. Touchdown, Day Hunter. And the Flames extend the lead.
This is an absolute beatdown.
3rd and 4 at the BYU 25, heading to the north end zone. Jonathan Bennett in the shotgun, gets the snap, rolls the pocket right, looking to throw, does so, end zone, it's up, and it's caught! Line him up, touchdown Liberty, C.J. Daniels!
Hugh Freeze called it the biggest home game in program history, and Liberty responded with one of the biggest wins in program history.
This vision was cast decades ago that this place on the mountain would have a team that could compete with the likes of a BYU. And man, tonight you walked in that vision and you made history.
The Liberty Flames put college football on notice. A fifth consecutive win, a 41-14 bludgeoning of BYU.
That's history, though. That's history.
Great work from our Donald Scott. Okay, we had to get head coach Hugh Freeze on the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage this week. He's been coaching this game for more than 30 years and dropped some interesting statements like this one during our conversation.
Man, I've coached a lot of games, so this is a big statement. And it may sound, I may or not make it. I'm not trying to brag, but I think it probably was one of the top 5 game plan called games. I feel, obviously your kids have to execute it, but I just could see everything and just felt like every call was the right call. And you don't feel that all the time.
Right.
But it was just a blessed, God was faithful in a lot of ways that day.
Okay, to listen to our entire exclusive interview with Coach, download and subscribe to Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage today. All right, we aren't finished reliving the history made on the mountain. A recap of Dr. Falwell's vision realized that you cannot miss coming up.
And the story of a Lady Flame soccer player who's playing the game with an unusual injury. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to Liberty University's online programs, where living out your calling with integrity is what you train to do. And getting ready for the future doesn't mean missing out on the now. Because a university is more than buildings and books. And an education should set you free, not fence you in. Welcome to Liberty's global campus, where distance learning was pioneered and evolved into one of the top-ranked schools in the nation. Where protecting your budget, your time, and your education isn't just a theory, it's our priority. Here, degrees in your field reflect industry demands and help you get ahead of the competition. Where college comes to you, but you can come to college too. Game day, homecoming, graduation day. Your school, your values, your experience, your choice. Welcome to Liberty University, where we train champions for Christ.
We should go to the beach and just sit there and do LUA. No. My name is Chris Jordan.
My name is Jennifer.
One of the benefits of LUA when we were investigating it versus perhaps a private school or something is the cost and accessibility. You know, is if you have access to the internet, you can get right on and do this at any time.
I think too that, like we were talking about, the teachers being able to contact you and say like, hey, you're behind, or if you do need some extra help with this, and they're very willing to help you do whatever you can to get back on track. Not that it ever happened with our kids, but you know, most definitely happened.
You know, for our family, not only was the pandemic going on and the whole world shifting around, we moved in the middle of that, moved from one state to another state, but we didn't skip a beat when it came to the schooling. And so the flexibility of LUA was an exceptional option for us.
So you're looking for a university that's perfect for you, a school that has anything you could possibly need.
Anything?
You want a place that has the programs you want to study, and maybe a few more, just in case you change your mind.
I think I'm going to sign up for the fashion design program.
All right. A place with state-of-the-art facilities. I mean, look at this campus.
And who doesn't love big-time sports?
And great recreational activities.
Okay, now we're on a roll. Somewhere you can hike, slide, strike, shoot, climb, eat, and most importantly, eat. You want a place that takes you to space? Okay, maybe not, but we can teach you how to fly, or pastor a church, or run a business. And all that with a great view? Yeah, I think I know a place.
Welcome back to Flames Central. What a season it's been for the women's soccer team. The Lady Flames captured the regular season ASUN title. Lang Wiedemeyer was named the ASUN Coach of the Year, and 4 players were named to the All-Conference First Team, including McKinley Burkett. She's a transfer who knows adversity all too well. Today, she's following the Lord faithfully while knowing there is purpose in her pain.
Well, I think it's honestly one of the coolest parts of my story. Definitely most challenging, maybe. The fact that he's chosen not to take away that injury. If I were maybe picking, it would be easy to say, yes, I wish I wasn't in pain all the time, or I wish, my legs didn't go numb randomly. But at the same time, I know that there's purpose behind it. I think I was 10 and one of my coaches said, you could go as far as you want in this. And I was like, wow, I had no idea that was even an option, and then that's kind of when all those big dreams start forming in my brain.
Those dreams would lead McKinley to Rocky Top, accepting a scholarship to play for the University of Tennessee. But despite a solid start to her college career, she felt unsettled.
Honestly, I was having success, I guess, but it didn't really feel very successful. I think that it felt more like a burden because there's all this pressure on you to live up to these expectations that you have for yourself, that the coaches have for you. So success was almost like a breath of relief rather than any sort of happiness coming from it.
A knee injury near the end of her freshman campaign would only add to that burden.
I was able to come back my sophomore year and play that entire time, but I started having these really weird issues with my feet and my shins after my knee surgeries. I'd have these really sharp pains and cramping in my feet, and then eventually my legs would go numb. I saw a bunch of specialists, I did a bunch of testing. Nothing was really coming up clearly, I guess. They had a few ideas, but nothing that they could pinpoint, and all of their ideas had no solutions really. I was also hearing from support staff and coaching staff that maybe this isn't for you, playing at this level, maybe your body can't handle it. We can't do anything else for you. You just have to deal with it, but if you're not producing, you're not helpful, type of thing. So I just kind of was like, okay, why am I here then? I made the decision to medically retire. In my mind, soccer was done for me.
McKinley had built her identity around the sport, and not being able to compete left her searching for purpose.
I would say that year and a half, I really detached from my emotions, but also my friends, my family. I just really wanted to isolate myself because I thought, if I'm hurting, I don't want to hurt others. I wish I could say that I stayed faithful to the Lord and that I was unwavering in my faith because He is so good, even when my situations don't feel good. But honestly, I was angry and I was bitter. Eventually, I took it out on the Lord because my mindset was, you made me, you put me in these situations. How could this be good? How could this be loving? And so it was really hard for me because obviously we're never going to be able to find a joy and a love outside of God. But I tried really hard for a long time and it just left me more broken and more sad. I got caught in that victim mentality for a little bit of, oh, why me? I think it just felt like I couldn't catch a break, nothing was going my way, all those self-pitying thoughts that we can so easily have. And then I thought, well, I could get a master's degree, and that's kind of when I started thinking, okay, what other schools could I go to, and is it even a possibility after being out for a year and a half to even play soccer again? So I was kind of looking at soccer just in a hopeful way, but it was more so, okay, what programs are available at schools that I'm really interested in regardless of soccer? And that's where Liberty really stood out to me. I visited fairly soon after that, and I just fell in love with the girls and the atmosphere. I never felt so loved by people that I had no connection to.
McKinley would return to the game she loved, and it would help lead her back to her faith.
When I first got here, I felt like I was in the right place. I felt like I was following the Lord's will, but I didn't I hadn't fully taken ownership of my relationship with the Lord.
When McKinley really came into this program and saw how we ask our players to live that faith out day in and day out, it helped to rekindle that a little bit and ignite that flame in her.
It was the first time that I saw other people valuing me for more than what I could just do for them. I saw them seeing me as a daughter of the King and a sister in Christ. Just having that overwhelming sense of love is something that I didn't even realize that I was craving so desperately.
Though her painful leg condition persists, McKinley battles through, guided by a new perspective.
It was this flipped switch almost of, okay, I have limitations, a lot of them, but how can I view these as gifts and privileges? Because in my weakness, Christ is strong.
Despite playing through pain, McKinley has a knack for finding the back of the net.
And here she is again. Burkett lines it up and scores.
But it may be off the pitch, where she's making her biggest contribution.
We feel for her because we know she's in pain pretty much all the time. Sometimes that gets a little bit too much, and sometimes she can manage it. But when the players see just how she's pushing through that pain on a daily basis, it inspires them to push themselves a little harder as well.
I'm starting to be able to see it as an opportunity to witness to others or to pour into the girls around me. When I share my testimony, I always like to say, he's the God of the mountaintops, but he's also the God of the valleys. And even if that mountaintop experience doesn't come, he's still good, he is still faithful, and his way is better than our way.
She steps in, it scores!
I think that he turned all those, in my mind, failures into opportunities to pursue him deeper. And so it would be crazy awesome to be on the national team and be a pro soccer player and get all of the accolades that come along with that and the attention, but it would have been more about me, and it needs to be a lot less about me. And so I think he saved me, honestly, from a lot of heartache, a lot of bitterness, and he's shown me that my value and my worth can be found eternally in him.
Thanks to Jonah Jabor for that incredible piece. All right, time now for Warm, Hot, and Fuego. Rhett McGibbon joins us as always. It's a turbo edition. We got a lot to get to in this week's show. Do you have a theme this week?
Yeah, it's like superheroes. Halloween's coming up. Let's get some costumes in there.
Let's start off with Warm.
Warm, Day Hunter. Reminds me of the Flash.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a little bit of Batman in there, too, because he has some grit to his game, right? He's not afraid to stomp a guy, maybe a stiff arm. 213 yards, a touchdown on the week, 80-yarder. When he was gone, you're like, oh, my goodness. I loved it.
Game was over at that point.
It really was. And then he did his famous Dookie step. He got up there, got the leg up, when the tackle came. So Day Hunter Warm this week.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Not in Fuego.
No,
we're
jumping the gun.
Fast here. Warm, now we go hot. Who's hot?
Delaney Dilfer. She reminds me of Elastigirl.
From Incredibles.
Yeah, exactly.
Love
She's just everywhere. The arm stretching out, just setting everything. She's been an absolute stud. A-Sun setter of the week. They had wins at Stetson and FGCU, over 13.2 assists per set. 3 aces versus Stetson. She has been unreal this season. Big reason why that volleyball offense is just so high octane this year. Like the amount of kills they're getting is crazy.
You just mentioned maybe the top 2 transfers across the board in athletics this year. Day Hunter, Delaney Dilfer, and now in Fuego, right? Not a transfer, but someone that was incredible.
It is Jonathan Bennett. He's taken a lot of heat this year at times through certain games, and his completion percentage was around 50. In this past game, 83%. Reminded me of Hawkeye.
Oh, there you go.
Just firing the arrows, bullseye, left, right, and center. 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, 46 yards on the ground. Didn't get sacked either.
Yeah,
that was a big
O-line played great.
Yeah, they really did. Really smart with the ball. Couldn't be happier for Jonathan Bennett. Just a fantastic game by him. And coming up clutch in a big game. It was neat to hear him on the soundbite earlier talking about seeing the video about Jerry Sr. and what it meant to him. Boom, comes out with his best game as a Flame.
Such a great guy. Everyone is so happy for his success in that ball game. Brett, we happy for you too. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. All right, still to come, a Flames fantasy update, I'm sorry to say, and an incredible recap of what Saturday night meant to Liberty football and Liberty University as a whole. Stick around, Flames Central will be right
back. You might have heard some things about Liberty University, like how we're just a little Christian school in the middle of nowhere, and there's nothing to do here. I mean, come on, you know us. Boring.
Boring?
Yeah. They say we don't work as hard, think as hard, try as hard.
I object.
The truth is, well, we might surprise you.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Time now for our Flames Fantasy League update, which is Emily's favorite part of the show.
Show the people the scores, Matt.
Right.
Just show the people the
Day-Day
scores.
Hunter is carrying the load. Over 200 rushing yards in the game, a touchdown, and Emily's lead has grown. In control now, still plenty of time to go.
It feels good. All right, we're about out of time. Make sure you download and subscribe to the Flame Central podcast. And if you missed any of our feature stories, head over to libertyflamecentral.com.
But before we go, we leave you with an incredible video. In 1971, Dr. Jerry Falwell Sr. cast a vision for this university. Last Saturday, a big piece of that vision was realized.
For those of you who are lucky enough to play in this game Saturday night, you're getting ready to make history. It is, without a doubt, the biggest home football game this program's ever had.
This is a special moment in the history of this university and football program, and dating back many, many decades, Jerry Falwell Sr., who founded the university, this is a vision coming to fruition.
We're just 3 years in our football program, but I want to tell you ahead of time, we're scheduling tough teams because we plan, it's our plan to have our athletic program comparable to anybody in time. And we've made the commitment, we're saying it out loud. There ought to be a place where saved athletes can play ball for the Lord.
This vision cast decades ago, man, and you get to walk in it today hosting BYU and Dr. Falwell's vision, man, and he cast it with his words, and now we walk in it.
You make sure whatever your capacity is, sideline, on the field, whatever it is, you take full advantage of it.
You've got to walk out of this door, you've got to go through that gate to the largest crowd in the history of this school to watch a football game, and when they lock those gates, you're going to have to fight.
He'll take a shot, single coverage there on a trail end. He'll take it, he'll score. Touchdown, Liberty.
Goes near side, touchdown,
Third down, Nakula is dropped.
hands off to Lewis, sweeping left to the near side, Tony.
Ball. Incomplete, and Anthony gets the last leg.
Run by Day-Day Hunter, right side, to the 30, to the 40, 20, 10, touchdown. Looking to throw, end zone, it's up, and it's gone. Touchdown, Liberty. The celebration begins as students are storming the field.
When I began Liberty University, when I planted the school, my dream was a world-class university. This Christian school system was to be athletically competing at the highest level in the NCAA. A tall order, but that was my vision.